Hello, good afternoon. Manisha. 3:30. Tell them to join as early as possible. What about others? Hello, Kavya.
Yes, sir.
What about
Who are you,
others?
sir?
Ravi Shankar.
Yes, sir.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
Ravi Shankar.
Yes, sir.
Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Good up. Good afternoon,
Are
sir.
you able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Hello, hello, Ravi Shankar.
Yes, sir.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
Ravi Shankar. Hello, are you able to hear? Ravi Shankar. Kavya.
Yes, sir.
Uh, my voice is. You can hear no?
Yes, sir.
Shall
We
we
can hear.
start? Okay, right. So yesterday we had discussed about the question paper. So in this way, that we have seen around 78 questions we have completed. Now fourth unit, last chapter, that is called multi-thread programming. This is also simple. Only 13 pages are available. Probably it will take 2 days, 2 hours. That's it. So let us see that this one how it will be working. So here you have the syllabus is called multi-threading fundamentals, the thread class, runnable interface, create how to create the thread, creating multiple threads. So determining when thread ends. So when it will be threading ends, thread priorities, thread communication using notify, wait, and notify all, suspending, resuming, and stopping the threads. These are all the syllabus. So now we have to see one by one multi-threading. What is multi-threading? Where to use, how to use, when to use. So multi-threading is nothing but, so you know the multitasking operating system already you have studied. Operating system you have studied. Multitasking is nothing but what? Running two or more programs simultaneously at the time, at the same time. So at the same time, we will be executing both the programs at a time. So that is what the multitasking. So now multi-threading is nothing but what? Dividing the programs into the smaller tasks. So the same program you will be dividing into the smaller tasks. What happened, Ravi Shankar? Why
Yes,
others
sir.
left?
Hello.
Hello, why others left?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
Put the message join for Java class
Okay,
in
sir. Okay,
group.
sir. Okay, sir. I will put, sir.
Java class is going on. Please join for the class. Put it. Why only less people are there? So multi-threading fundamentals is nothing but one is called multitasking, another one is called the multi-threading. So have you entered? What happened?
Sir, there was one more link of CN class, sir. I thought that was yours, and we were like waiting there.
No, I linked shared it. No link.
Yeah, sir. After your link, there was one more link, and I thought that's the link. So I was waiting there in the CN class sir's link.
Recently I posted that one. That one is correct. No.
Yes, sir. But see, you said join for Java class immediately. Above that, I just saw the link. I didn't see that it's CN sir's class.
Okay, okay, okay. So link
Okay,
is
sir.
clear now.
Yes, sir. Yes. Sir.
No, actually, now Wednesday onwards I will be doing the same thing only. After 3:30 only I'll take. Actually, what I thought is morning I can take the class.
Yes, sir.
The bus went reached campus late around 9 o'clock. So second class I thought it will get disturbed. That is the reason I postponed. So prepone, postpone, some confusions happened. So now onwards we'll take afternoon only.
Okay, sir.
So after the same time, 3 to 4 and 3:30 to 4:30. So
Okay,
because
sir.
college is half day, I'll be reaching home around 3 o'clock. I will travel from north to south now. So that was the problem. So next week you will not be having any confusions. Okay, now no confusions, no Linka.
No, sir.
Okay, so right. So now let us see the multi-thread programming. Multi-thread programming fundamentals is nothing but it will be divided into the three tasks. One is called multitasking, one is called multi-threading, another one is called the thread. So multitasking is nothing but what? If the programs running more than two tasks or two programs, more than two programs at a time. That is what the multitasking. So system will be doing multitasking. So multitasking is nothing but operating system. Already you have learned it, I hope. So multitasking is, for example, if you take printer, I'll give 100 pages printer, then I will be doing some other job. Otherwise, once you see in your library, you'll the Xerox person, he will give it one is 100, one is 200. He will be giving simultaneously. So the one after it will be executing. That is called continuous. But here the same system, computer, if you take, I'll give 1,000 pages print that it will be working simultaneously, and I will be running that. I will be running another program. That is one example. Another example I'll tell you. Unix you have seen foreground process and background process. Foreground and background. Foreground is nothing but whatever I am running the programs or whatever I am executing the program, that is called the foreground. Background is nothing but, for example, if you take time automatically it will be updated. That system will be running automatically. So cron tab values, so unit values. So some of the values it will be running background That is called the automatically. So system will be doing always multitasking. So that is what the multitasking. Next is multi-threading is nothing but what? In a given program only simultaneously running are making two parts in the same program. That is what the multi-threading. Dividing the program into the smaller chunks or smaller tasks called the threads and running them simultaneously. So I have sent the notes. Do you got it, Ravi Shankar?
Yes, sir. Got
Unit
it,
3
sir.
and Unit 4 I have sent it. If any doubts are there, you can see the syllabus. If it is anything is not covered, please let me know. Then I can tell you. Okay. So now another one is thread is nothing but what? The lightweight process that executes some task. So that is also called, we can say, simple our Java language. We can say that is also one task, or we can say one method. So particular task will be executing when you are, that is called the thread. One thread is nothing but one program or one function, we can say small task. So particular task we can say that is what the thread. Now see the life cycle. This one, this is what in examination they will be asking. Explain the multi-threading fundamentals with the life cycle. So here you can see here what is the first one? New. Another one is what? Runnable. Another one is running. Terminated. Now in this, in between some of the tasks are executing, how it will be executing, some of the process will be going. We'll see that one. New is nothing but what? Entire program you are giving to execute. To execute the sum of the program you are giving to execute it. Now when you are running the program, runnable, that is nothing but it is running. So runnable is nothing but here you have the one more called running. So running is nothing but what? So this is ready to execute. This is what running the programs. In that case, you have some of the parameters, either wait or sleep or suspend. So wait is nothing but some of the program is wait to execute. So another one is called sleep. Sleep is nothing but sometime you sleep. So 20 seconds or 3000 seconds you sleep sometime. Then you execute it. That is what you can go for wait or sleep. Both are same meaning only. Sleep is nothing but what? You are giving some particular time to sleep. So whether it is system is free or not, whatever it may be, so that it will not bother for that. So if I give 10,000 seconds, 10,000 seconds, it will sleep. Wait is nothing but what? If some system is, some program is executing, so you are telling the that particular function to stop. Wait. So wait, that program is executing. Once it is completed, then you go ahead. So that is what the wait, sleep, that is what the different. Suspend is nothing but what? Particular time being you will suspend that particular function. I will be doing something, suspend, sometimes suspend. So that is what the suspend. So now this is what waiting or sleeping or blocking, whatever it may be. So in this case, now once it is waiting or sleep or suspend or blocking, whatever it may be, now you have to resume the execution that one. For that you have to call notify or notify all. So notify means only single thread, notify all. So all the threads how it will be executing that one. That's what we'll be seeing one by one. So next is when sleep time up, resume. Resume is nothing but what? It will restart that one. It will come here and coming here. So till complete all the threads, whatever you have given the task to execute multiple programs or multiple functions or multiple threads. We can say in this topic we'll be talking about multiple threads. When the multiple threads are executing simultaneously, it will be running. So once it is completed all the threads, then it will be terminated. That is what the dead state. So new state to dead state. So runnable is nothing but it is ready to execute. Running is nothing but running the program. When it is running, you will be when you are executing more than one program at a time, more than one task at a time, or more than one thread at a time. When it is executing, one will be executing, remaining will be waiting state. That is what we can say, either wait state or sleep state or suspend state. That is what the process here, the block diagram, it is available. So once it is this one, then you have to start either resume or notify all these things. Then it will come back here continuously till complete all the threads completion of the execution. It will be moving circle with this one. then it will be terminating. Now see here, new. The thread begins, it will life cycle in the new state. It remains this state until the program starts the thread. So it is also referred to the both bond thread. So that is what this one. Next one is runnable. A thread in the state, it is considered to execute the task. Next, running also same thing. Next is waiting. A thread is transmission to the waiting state, while the thread waits for the another thread to perform your task. So that is what the waiting is nothing but what? It will wait to perform the other task to execute. That is what the waiting state. The thread transmission back to runnable state only when the another thread signals the waiting thread to continue to executing. Next is terminated. Terminated is the throughput come out of the program. So runnable thread enters terminates the state when it is completes its task or otherwise terminates. So this is what the life cycle of the threads. So multi-threading fundamentals. They will ask explain multi-threading fundamentals or explain the life cycle of the threads. This diagram and this explanation you have to write it. Once you know this, you can write your own words. Tell me, somebody is telling something? Any doubt? Any doubt? So this is what the life cycle. Now we have to see one by one how it will be executing, what is the syntax, all these things. Before going further, you have the advantages of the threading. Advantages of the threading. What is the advantages for the threads? Why should I use this? So threads are lightweight than the processors. So this is nothing but the lightweight. So because you are splitting the program, will be splitting into the threads. That is the reason this is nothing but the lightweight process. It takes less time, less resources to create the thread. So it will create the less resources for the thread. So next is second one is threads shares their parent process data and code. So threads shares the parent process. So here is parent process will be creating the thread. So that is the reason is the resources will be less, execution will be fast. Next one is context switching between the threads is usually less expensive than between the process. Between the processes, it will take more time and bit complexity. So when it is executing the thread to thread, so control will be transferring one thread to another thread, another thread to another thread. So that it is less time, less resources, and it is very easy. So that is what the context switching between the threads is usually less expensive than between the processors. So we have learned in operating system, processors, what is operating system, all these things you have learned it in operating system. The similar concept here also. Next one is threads intercommunication is relatively easy than the process communication. So in internal inter-process communication also. Inter-process communication is nothing but inter-thread communication. It is easy than the process communication. So process, you know that more than one process it will be running. So we can say that take the example for the CPU operating system, how it will be working. You know the foreground, background already I have told you. So that is what the thread inter-process communication is relatively easy than process communication. Next one is better resource utilization. So resources utilization is nothing but unnecessarily it will not create any resources here. Whenever it is required for that particular thread, it will create the resources to execute that one, then it will release the resources. Next is simpler program design in source situations. So simpler programs, designing the small situations. Next is more responsive the programs. That is what the advantages. So just remember that threads advantages is nothing but what? Because your program you are splitting into the threads. That is the reason it is execution is very fast and less weight. This one threads is always compared to the process is very less. And next one is compared to the threads, process is more costly. This is less expensive. Another one is nothing but inter-process between the threads is easy than the processor. This is nothing but better resource utilization than the process communication process. So simple program designing some situations, and let us see how it will be working. Now, threads classes and runnable interface. So threads classes and runnable interfaces. So syllabus I have given here only one by one. So now is nothing but this one, runnable interfaces. How it will be working this one by one. We'll see this one. Next is, here is threads classes and runnable interfaces is nothing but multi-threading is built on the threads class and its companion interface runnable. Both are packages in Java.language. So this is available in Java.languages. So next one is, all processes have at least one thread of execution, which is usually called the main thread. So is nothing. What is the meaning for this? All the processes have at least one thread of execution. So all the process, at least minimum one thread should be there. Otherwise meaningless. So particular task you want to execute it for the particular method. So that is at least one thread should be there to execute. Then only. Actually, normally you can say this here is more than one thread you have to write it. Then only it will be executing properly, and you can find the differences. But initially, I'll tell you one thread how to write it. Then we'll go for the multiple threads how it will be executing. Already I told you lab programs, synchronization, and synchronization is nothing but what is the meaning? Operating system will be synchronizing. That means what? Control will be transferring from one place to another place, because when the threads is executing, one thread will be sleeping state, one will be executing. So sometimes this one you keep it waiting state, then move to the other one. So that simultaneous synchronization, that is what the definition for the synchronization. Control will be transferring from one place to another place. That it will see later. That's what lab program I told you. Now is, thread can be created into the two ways. One is called, now your packages is available java.language. So you have to import java.language. Then all the packages, all the thread options are available in java.language. Next one is, implements runnable interface, extending thread class. So threads is allowed only two ways. One is called the runnable interface, another one is called the extended thread class. One is runnable, another one is called the extended thread class. Now implement runnable interface. What is the implement runnable interface? Now you have to write compulsory. This is what the function says. This is what the function, you have to write it. So implements runnable interface. The runnable interface signature is nothing but public interface runnable void run. So this is compulsory. You have to write it in your program. This is what the writing the way of thread. So now let us see what is the meaning for this. Steps to create the threads by implementing runnable. Runnable, this one, how it will be executing this one. A class needs to only implement a single method called run. So you have only one method called run. This one only will be executing. That is what the single method called run. Next one is, thread can be created by any method like main or constructor. So it's left to you, either you go for the main or constructor with the following steps. So this is the, you need to follow the following steps how to create the object. So how to create the object is nothing but, first step, create object of class that implements run method. First one is what? Create object of class that implements run method. Second one is nothing but, so what you have to do, you have written the interface here. That is nothing but, the method is nothing but void run. So for that you have to create the method is called create object of the class implements run method. For this you have to create the object. How to create the object is nothing but, create the thread by passing the object current class that implement run method. So thread T is equal to new thread runnable object. So new thread runnable object. So thread T is equal to new thread of runnable object. So whatever you are creating the method name, so that one you will be writing the runnable object. So that you have to pass it. This is what the creating the object. So normally you can remember that public static void main. So for the particular object you are creating the object, using that object you need to call the methods. Now here you are writing the void run is called one method. For that interface you have written runnable. For that, you need to create the object here also. This is the way of creating the object. Now, how to start this function is nothing but previously you used to do it object dot that particular function. Now, but here is call start method in turns calls run method start the thread. So you have to call the run thread method. Now let us see one example here how it will be run. So now see here simple program we have written here. What I have written? Class my thread implements runnable. So syntax whatever I have written here also same thing we have written. Next is public void run. Public void run is nothing but for I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to 40, I plus plus. System dot out dot println I. System dot out dot println I is nothing but what? So it will print 0 to 40, 0 to 39, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 39 values will be printing. Now for this, how to create the object? Just you see here, public static void main string arguments. My thread TA is equal to new thread. My thread TA is equal to new thread. So next what will happen? Thread T is equal to new thread of TA. So for this, what I have told you, creating the thread is nothing but what? So class name is nothing but my thread. Object is TA, new my thread. So you have created the object. Once you create the object, now you have to pass you have to call the function. So you have to call the thread. So thread T is equal to new thread of TA. So this object name you are passing so that it will be creating the object. Finally, you have to start the execution. So this is nothing but initialization of the object. Once it is initialized the object, T1 dot start. T1 dot start is nothing but what? So actually here you have written the function void run, but you are not calling any void run here. Just T1 dot start. So T1 dot start is nothing but what? That function will be, that thread will be running. So that means what? Here simple example I told you only one method that is called void run. So now when we'll understand very clearly is nothing but for the like laboratory program we need to write two threads. So then we'll be understanding clearly. So now just for we have to practice how to create the object for the multi-thread programming and how to once you create the object how to initialize. Next once you initialize that one how to start the function that is called the T1 dot start. Now create the object is nothing but what? My whatever you have mentioned the class here. So my thread TA object name is equal to new thread, new my thread. That is nothing but the class name. Once you do this, you have to initialize the thread. Thread T is equal to new thread of TA. New thread of TA. So next is T1 dot start. So it will execution will be starting from here. So any doubt this, please let me know here. Akash, any doubt?
No, sir.
Way of writing the threads?
Yes, sir.
Ravi Shankar? Ravi Shankar?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt? To create
No,
the
sir.
thread, small thread? So just
Yes,
I have
sir.
written only one. Now we'll go like laboratory program, how to write multiple threads and I'll tell you. Because to understand this simple program how taken, how to create the object, how to initialize the object, how to start the function. That is what I have told you here. Not only here, because I am for me visual is one is few people. Maithili, Savita,
Sir.
any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, shall I move to other one?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now extending the thread class. So you can extend this thread class test extends thread. So extends the thread. This one we are extending. If you want to extend the thread, you can extend it. So public void run for I is equal to 1 to n print ln. So end of the thread text t is equal to new test t dot stop. So extending that one also you can write it. Now note this, and this one is just to understanding how to write one thread, but examination this don't write it. Next program you have to write it, because at least minimum through 2 threads you have to write it. Otherwise, simple program only this. This is nothing but just one thread I have written like normal program only. So how to create the object, how to initialize the object, how to run the program. But this is not give complete meaning for the multi-threading programming, because minimum 2 threads it is required. Then only control will be transferring one place to another place. So that is what you have to write the next program. Okay. Now see here. So some of the, that is the reason I have not written output also this. So now let us see this one. Even though we do not create any thread, Java threads in the main method, and it has final thread called main threads. So because we have not, this is what the thread, but we are not creating any, we are not calling any thread directly here. Just t1.start. So automatically it will run the program. That is what the first statement meaning. Next one is, it is the thread from which other child threads will be swapped. So it must be the last thread to finalize the execution, because it performs the various shutdown actions. So you'll be having multiple actions. So finally, one thread will be executing. So next, controlling the main thread. So it can be controlling through the thread object. To do so, you must obtain the reference to the IBV calling method. So current thread. So which the public static member of the thread. So now, general form of the static thread, current thread. So static is nothing but, you can write it like this. And example, getting the reference of the main thread is nothing but thread th is equal to thread dot current thread. So th dot get name gives the thread name also. So here is which thread is executing. You can find out the name also here. You can find the name. So this, if possible, next class I will try to execute the programs, some of the programs, thread programs. Next class I will run and I'll show you, because I'll write the code, I'll make it ready. So next class I'll run and I'll show you. Next is public static void main. So you can use a try catch method also. Thread th is equal to thread dot current thread name. So each thread and the thread name will be displaying. So system dot out dot println current thread is th dot get name. So th dot get name is nothing but thread name will be displayed. So here is, see here, current thread is nothing but main. So here which program is executing? Main program is executing. That is the reason this one. So next one is th dot set name my thread. So you have to set the name is called the my thread. So next is system dot out dot println after the name change plus th. So you have set the name my thread. So after changing the name is nothing but the my thread. So you see here, so thread is nothing but the my thread fifth main. So 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line will be executed. So here is, you can find out the name also. You can set the particular name, which thread is executing, which function is executing. I want to find out means I can display the name also. So set the name. Another one is called the get the name. So next one is for I is equal to n is equal to 4, n is greater than 0, n minus minus 4 to 0 values will be displaying here. So system dot out dot println. So thread dot slip 1000 nanoseconds here. So what will happen? Normally when you are running the program, what will happen? Just it will display 4, 3, 2, 1 when you are running the program, immediately will run it. But now with this program, because you have given some of the waiting state, so you can see it will print 4, it will wait for some time. Next value will print, again it will wait for some time. Then again it will print 2, it will wait for some time. Next it will print 1, it will wait for some time. Then it will come back to the program. That means what? You can see which function is working. So that is what the advantages of the sleep function. Sleep is nothing but what? You wait for some time. You wait for some time. That's it. So you're not, system will not be doing anything. So after this one thread is executing, it will wait some time. When you're putting into the loop, so you want to see the output, what happened there. So normally whenever you're using the graph statements, so when you are using the graph comparison, so they will use it this one, because one graph they have drawn. Next, what will happen? They want to, after displaying, it should wait some time. Then second the graph will be displayed, so that then they will compare one and another. Suppose if it is displaying both the graph at a time, which one is first one, which is second one, we cannot say. So that is the reason normally when you are drawing the graphs, so it is more useful sleeping statements. So normally sleep whenever you are using, so that is called the graph related problems only we'll try to use it, so that you can understand easily which is printing first, which is printing next. So for that understanding purpose, here we have used it for the loop statement also. So now what is the sleep? It will wait for some time. This one only, like multiple choice questions also will ask one question. Next, sleep method. Sleep is nothing but, already I told you, long milliseconds. So static void sleep, long integer milliseconds, throws interrupted exception. So that is nothing but the causes the thread from which it is called to suspend execution for specific period of milliseconds. So this one is what? So you wait. So it will suspend. Suspend is nothing but what? You wait some time, that's it. So for example, if when your classes are running, so one teacher will say, you are suspending 1 week. That means what? It is not, you are terminated totally from the college. So 1 week you are suspended, you are not allowed to do the regular task. Or sometimes the teacher will say, you get out from my class. So time being suspended for that. That means what? Next onwards you can continue. So time being you are wait. So the same meaning here also, it will be waiting for the milliseconds. So that is one thing, this one. Next is changing an approach. Changing an approach is nothing but what? If you want to override many methods, thread class, then extend the thread class. So if you want to override only run method, then better to implement runnable interface one. So here is what? If you override many methods, use thread class, then the extended threads. So this is where one method. Another one is you can override only run methods also. No problem. So you can implement both the ways to run the program. Now let us see one program here. So what happen is class mythreads implements runnable. Same thing, syntax already I told you. String name. So you have defined the data type here. Public mythread string my name. So name is equal to thread name. So I want to display the thread name. So previously program, just we have entered there itself. Now here we are entering. Next is public void run. Try I is equal to 5, I greater than 0, I minus system dot out dot println name, I value will be displaying, that is nothing but 5. Then it will sleep some seconds. Next 4, next is 3, next is 2, next is 1. Then come out of the program. Exception is nothing but what? Interrupt exception if system dot out dot println name plus exception. So which exception is this one? Next is system dot out dot println, you are coming out of the program. Now how to do this one is nothing but, you see here, 2 threads have created here. Thread T1 is equal to new thread of new my thread of 1. So directly first thread and second thread. Because what will happen is the same, here I have created 2 objects and one thread you are running at a time, another thread also you can run it. Because I want to understand which thread is executing. So that is the reason first name thread is 1 and second thread is 2. So thread T2 is equal to new thread, new my thread is 2. Now T1 dot start, T2 dot start. So now normally without threads if you go for that, so T1 dot start. So T1 dot start, T2 dot start. So normally what will happen in the normal program, suppose if it is a start is called one function, it will complete that. Then it will go for the second function, second method. Now here is, you have written T1 dot start, T2 dot start. But see the output, what will happen. First one is called which thread 1. Second one is called second. So now first one is T1 dot start, you have given 5 will be executed. Then it will, because you have given the sleep statement here, it will sleep. By that time what will happen? Second thread will be executed. Again sleeping will be there. So then it will go for the first object, because 4. Next second object, 4. Second, first, second to first, second to first. Next is 2 exciting and existing, and another one is called the first one we will be coming out of the program. So that is what the here is name and exit. Which one will be exiting? So this is what the way of writing the program. So T1 dot start, T2 dot start, because you have given the sleep statement here. So that is the reason. By that time, because system wasting time, by that time what will happen? It will be executing that one. That means what? Whatever you have read it in operating system, so one process is executing, one will be waiting state. All these three you have learned it in operating system. Now you are learning, I hope. Correct now, isn't it? So operating system concepts, whatever you are learning there, so here practically you can see it. That is what the advantages Java. So Java behind what happening. So you can see it here also. So that is what their multiple programs are running. We are not seeing this. That how it will be working is nothing but the similar concept there also. So because one it is working, another one will be waiting state. So that is what the T1 dot start, T2 dot start. Now, my dear students, now what I mean to say is write a program to print the numbers from 1 to 20. 1 to 20. Here is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 I have given. So using multi-threading programming, minimum 3 threads you created, 1 to 100. So that is what your homework, and we'll see the next class. Anyone of you share it tomorrow that program, then I'll tell you what will happen, whether it is right or wrong, or if it is wrong, how to rectify that error. So some of the programs I'll show you tomorrow how to execute multi-threading programs. So today class we have learned how to write the multi-threading concept. So how to write is nothing but string name, you written class name, implements runnable, and to program is nothing but public. This one, what is that called? Public void run. That is what the method you have to write it. So we are not calling run function directly. So we have to, when you are creating the thread, when you are initializing the thread, just T1 object name dot start. That is what here also we are running. Because your object is T1, that is called T1 dot start. Because this is run, but we are not calling that particular thread directly or method directly. So you have to start. So system will be taking care automatically to run for that particular thread. So sleep is nothing but what? So you wait some time, or it will suspend some time. So that is what this one. Because it is not completed, you do it later. That's it. So time being you don't work. That is what this suspend here. So any doubt now? Shall we stop today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
The syllabus you didn't say third unit and fourth unit. Up to probably I will finish this unit before internals. So third unit and fourth unit for the second test syllabus. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Bye.